Doers of the Word Ministries. Doing is becoming. Don't get it twisted. It's summer season right now, a season whereby trees, flowers, and plants are coming out in the full beauty of their potential. The question is, are you coming out in your potential, or are you just there struggling, trying to make a living instead of living? Our whole desire as a ministry is actually to help cash out all the potential that God invested in you. We want you to die empty, having offered God and the world all the treasure that is in you. Today, we are actually going to be talking about how you can discover your purpose. And it being summer, we want to use trees as an example or as an illustration of how you can discover your purpose. Many times in the Bible, God uses the life of a tree to liken it to the life of a human being. For example, the Bible says in the book of Matthew, chapter 12, and verses 33, make a tree good and it's going to produce good fruit. Make a tree bad and it's going to produce bad fruit. Now we all know that a tree does not just grow and start producing fruits. It actually starts from a seed. The seed has the potential in it to become a tree and produce a specific kind of a fruit. And we know that the process of a tree producing a specific kind of fruit is a little bit less complicated than the process that a man will actually be able to become a tree and produce a specific kind of fruit. Since as human beings we are free moral agents, we have a choice of the kind of tree that we want to become and of the kind of fruit that we want to produce. But thanks be to God, who always aids us in our choices, because He knows the importance of us achieving our God-intended purpose. Because at the end of the day, us achieving our God-intended purpose will bring God glory, and it will bring us fulfillment and a sense of significance. Now, we enter into this world in the form of a seed. And God, being our Creator, has actually put in the seed interests, abilities, and different kinds of personalities. And these interests, abilities, and personalities are actually cut out to meet a specific challenge. This challenge is actually your purpose, and your interests, your abilities, and your personalities are actually gifts. So your gifts are intended to meet your purpose. And God, being one who is just, will not give you a purpose that your gifts cannot meet. God cannot let the eye do the function of the nose, or God cannot let the fingers do the function of the toes, since every specific part of the body is cut out to do a specific kind of function. Even trees, God will not let a banana tree produce apple fruits because it is not fashioned to produce that. Hence, God will always woo you in the direction of your purpose, knowing that the gifts He's put in you are actually able to meet your God-intended purpose. In view of all this, we as our human beings have the obligation to discern the gifts that God has vested in us, and we also have the obligation to sense the purpose which He's leading us to, because our gifts are actually gonna help us meet the purpose that God intended us to meet. The good thing, and one thing that is very important to remember, is that God is always with us in this process. Remember the story of Samuel. God called him several times in the night, and God did not let him come to a point of rest until the time he was able to understand and discern that this was the voice of God, which he hearkened to, and he also accepted the call that God was calling him into. And the same thing that God did to Samuel, I believe the same thing that God wants to do to us, since He's a God who is just, and He's a God who is no respecter of persons. He's a respecter of principles and a respecter of faith. So be encouraged and be sensitive, and God will show you your gifts, which are actually cut out to meet a specific kind of purpose. Thank you. Keep it doers of the word, where we bring you the Rhema word of God that is always fresh, current, and relevant. Stay blessed.